Sara was born in a small town on the west coast of the United States in 1985. Her father was in the military and her mother worked as a teacher. Sara was one of 4 children in the family and grew up in a loving and caring environment. In school, Sara was an excellent student and had many friends. After high school, she went to university where she studied sociology and psychology. During her studies, she was a student union activist and participated in various charitable activities. After graduation, Sara moved to the big city, where she began working as a social worker. She worked with children who were victims of abuse and neglect, and her work was very important to many families. Sara was a very loving and caring aunt to her nieces and nephews. She spent a lot of time with them and participated in many of their life moments, such as high school graduations and vacation trips. In her free time, Sara loved to read books and travel. She visited many countries in Europe and Asia and learned a lot about different cultures and traditions. Sara was a kind, intelligent, and talented woman who inspired many people with her energy and optimism. Sara was married to her work colleague, Jack, for 5 years. They met when they began working for the same company, and gradually their professional relationship developed into a romantic one. The first few years of their marriage were happy, but as time went on, Sara noticed that Jack was working more and spending less and less time with her. She felt lonely and unappreciated, and they often argued over it. One day, Sara found out that Jack was cheating on her with a coworker, and that was the last straw in their relationship. Sara decided to divorce him and start a new life. However, the divorce was very difficult for Sara, and she spent a lot of time trying to rebuild her life after the divorce. She felt lost and insecure, and she found it difficult to start a new relationship. Sara tried to keep herself busy with work, friends, and hobbies, but she still felt lonely. She tried to meet new people, but she found it hard to trust anyone after her divorce. Nevertheless, Sara didn't give up and kept working on her life. She started doing yoga and meditation to deal with stress and anxiety. She also volunteered at a local charity to feel helpful and socially included. Over time, Sara began to find herself and enjoy her independence. She realized that she didn't need to depend on anyone else to be happy, and that her life could be full and joyful without a husband or partner. She continued to work, travel, and enjoy life, and this led to her becoming more confident. Nephew Michael was very close to Aunt Sara throughout his life. They spent a lot of time together, communicated on various topics, and did many things together. Sara was not only an aunt to Michael, but also a mentor, friend, and support in life. In high school, Michael was one of the best students and was also involved in sports and music. After high school, he went to college where he studied finance and economics. During his studies, he was an activist in the student council and organized various events. In his free time, Michael enjoyed playing sports, especially tennis, as well as playing guitar and composing music. He was also involved in charity events and foundations, helping those in need and supporting various social projects. Michael was a creative, ambitious, and intelligent man who was always striving for new achievements and victories. He was popular in the community and had many friends who respected him as a leader and an example of a successful man. One day, Michael told Sara that he needed to prepare for a difficult financial analytics exam for college. Sara, who herself had extensive experience in finance, offered to help Michael prepare. Sara set aside several evenings a week to help Michael learn the material, answer questions, and prepare for the exam. She used her professional experience to explain complex concepts to Michael and help him understand their application in practice. Thanks to Sara's help, Michael was able to pass the exam and advanced in his company's career. He was very grateful to Sara for her support and help with his studies, and they became even closer. Then Michael began to notice that he felt more than just the love of a relative for Sara. He found that he began to dream of spending more time with her, thinking about her often, and feeling that she was closer to him than anyone else. These feelings confused Michael, but he didn't know what to do about it. At the same time, Sara noticed that Michael was beginning to behave strangely in her presence. He was too nervous and clumsy when they talked, and he seemed to become more jealous if she interacted with other people. At first, she just thought he was going through some kind of trouble, but as his behavior continued, she began to suspect that something strange was going on. Over time, however, Sara began to realize that her feelings for Michael had developed into an unusual friendship. She noticed how her heart began to beat faster when Michael was around, and how she involuntarily smiled when he spoke, and she felt an unusual sense of warmth when the two of them talked. Sara decided that she would not bring it up because she was afraid of spoiling her friendship with Michael. Instead, she began to support Michael in all his endeavors, helping him with his studies and giving him advice on life. A few weeks later, Sara decided to confess her feelings to Jack. She asked him out, and throughout the evening they talked about work, their interests, and how they felt about each other. At the end of the evening, as they saw each other off, Michael announced that he felt the same way. He was glad that Sara had shared her feelings and that they had agreed to begin a relationship that led them to a wonderful love affair. He, too, felt that he could no longer hide his emotions and that he needed to talk to her about it. As the relationship between Sara and Michael became serious, they began to spend more and more time together. They walked, talked, and got to know each other more and more. Their affection for each other grew with each passing day. Unfortunately, I can't go into all the details of what happened between them in this video. After a while, Michael asked her to be his girlfriend. Sara was touched by his words and understood how important this move was to him. But she also understood that she couldn't respond to his feelings because of society's prejudices. This had to end, as things were going in the wrong direction. She gently and tenderly explained to Michael that they could only remain friends from now on. She promised that she would stay by his side and support him in everything, but she couldn't respond to his feelings the way he wanted her to. Michael was upset, but he understood why Sara had made that choice. He promised that he would continue to be her friend and not leave her, but in turn he understood that he needed time to get over his feelings. Sara was grateful for his understanding and hoped that their friendship would remain unchanged. Share your opinion in the comments. Did the girl do the right thing? What if she had entered into a relationship with Michael? Also, click on this video to watch about another shocking story. See you soon.